Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave, episode 85. Today, I'm going to be doing some battle games. Actually, Atari battle games. You're probably wondering why I'm not doing combat, because that's, typically what you would think of when you would hear the word battle games on the Atari. But, in all fairness, combat is a two-player game, and it's just me down here, so I can't really show off exactly how combat is. It's not really fair if the other tank is just sitting over there doing nothing. So, I'd rather just stick to a couple of one-player games. And I was sent this game, Strategy X, by a person who watched the show, Gregory. I've talked about him before. I did a whole video on his contribution. He sent me a whole bunch of games, and I'm still exploring them, and I'm still trying them out. I got the Microsurgeon game from, I think I got it right here, actually, this one here on the Intellivision. I still want to play this game, so, it's just going to take some time for me to go through them and play them. So I thought I'd start with Strategy X, because this one kind of made me wonder about it. I was, when he sent me the screenshot, he's like, do you have this game? I'm like, I've never heard of that. And in fact, I've never seen a cartridge for the Atari that even looked like this. It's rounded, and it's got this, funky shape to it. I've never seen that. And the other thing that I've never seen before is an Atari game by Konami. And actually, you can see that if you look really close there, right up there, Konami. And I thought, Konami? I didn't know they made games for the Atari. That's sweet. So, he sent it along to me, which was cool. So, I'm going to give this a shot. And the other game I'm going to give a try is Commando for the Atari. Now, I'm very familiar with this on the Commodore 64 because that was the system I had this game on. That's the one I had the most experience with. So, I've played it a little bit on the Atari since I had this. My friend gave this to me very, very long time ago when he was getting rid of his stuff. And, it's a cool game. I played it a smidge on the, the Flashback portable. And, you're playing on a tiny little system, little screen, so it's a little bit of a different experience. So, hopefully it'll be a little bit better when I play it on the actual Atari. So let's play some battle games on the Atari 2600. Okay, so we have Strategy X for the Atari 2600. Now, I just turned it on, and I'm looking at a screen that looks like I'm able to play, but I obviously can't. So I'm going to have to, I don't know, I guess hit the reset button. Well, that's pretty cool. I had a nice little song. Wasn't expecting that. Okay. So I got to, I guess, advance on here. Whoa! Oh my goodness. That thing just shot me. Okay. So, it's really the screen is pushing me. Oh my god. This is hard. Okay, I got some fuel over here. I'm assuming what that is. Okay, yep, that was fuel. Wow. You really don't have a whole lot of time to get the heck out of the way. Okay, let's restart that. So 1981, pretty good for 1981, This seems like a game that was made later. So I have to maneuver myself around. I think that sound means I'm running out of fuel or something. But I don't see any fuel. Oh. It's kind of like River Raid in a sense, where you're driving your... Yeesh. You're driving your tank instead of a plane. And you gotta, run over these fuel things to fuel yourself up. Wow. Obviously, it's not as advanced as River Raid. River Raid has more things shooting at you, more, helicopters and balloons and things flying at you. This feels like, just these battle stations are attacking you or whatever. This is surprisingly hard. And when you look at it, you think it's probably simple, but it's not. You really got to race towards that. At least with this, you could actually drive on all of the terrain. I was starting to think when I booted this up that I couldn't ride on those green spots, kind of like in River Raid, where you can't ride on the green parts. That's what I thought was going to happen there, but apparently I can ride on everything. So that kind of separates this from River Raid in that sense. other than that, I mean, it's a pretty decent game. The sound is great. The movement is great. It's challenging. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Okay, so now we're into Commando. I mean, this one actually, you know, I've had a little experience with it, only on the Commodore 64 version, anyways. But right away, I can see it's very similar. It's got a copyright there of '86, which tells you it's a much later Atari game. So let's just hit the reset button. So got that nice little sound effects going on here. And, whoa, it's got the music there. And we got, I think those are grenades. Yeah, pretty much all you can do in this game is pick up grenades and run. And shoot. Try not to get killed. So here's a little blue guy. You're kind of like, I don't know, I always look at him thinking he's like more of a Cobra Commander look to him, like from G.I. Joe. Actually, this would be cool if this was a G.I. Joe game, but it's not. It's Commando. And not the same as Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie, the Commando movie or whatever. It's obviously something different, but... So, So when you're advancing forward, you really only have your weapon, your gun, I guess. You can't do any kind of auto fire. But you do have grenades. Now I'm finding that the difficulty with the grenades is you have to hold down the button. Because it's Atari, so there's only one button. Whoa. Oh, I just got killed there. So to use the grenade, I have to like hold down the button. And I don't really see any real effectiveness with it. It's like, I might as well just shot that guy. So, you know, why would I want to get myself in a situation where I have to hold down the button just to throw a grenade when I could have just shot him with my gun? Maybe the grenades are used elsewhere. Perhaps it's better for blowing up something else. But so far it just seems like it's more effective for me to just charge forward with my gun. Makes you wonder what kind of gun he's using, though. It's like, you know, one shot at a time. I guess that's the limitations of the Atari, and at this point, I'm not remembering the Commando on the Commodore 64 very well. Can't remember if there was, like, more shooting action in that one. But this game does remind me of another one. More of the Commodore 64 version, anyways. Reminds me of another Commodore 64 game, Rambo 2. Similar style where you're advancing forward, you got people shooting at you, just you, whoa, against a whole army of people. The only difference really is that Rambo, or First Blood Part 2 Rambo, you actually have a different mission in mind. This one you're just kind of storming bridges, kind of like River Raid again. You know, your mission is to get through the bridges. But in Rambo, you have to actually like free POWs, get them onto a helicopter, and so there's a little more to it. And I just got killed again. I'm not really utilizing the grenades, like I said. I don't know. I don't see them doing it be very effective. And I mean, overall, this is a pretty good game. It's definitely much easier playing it on a real Atari with a real Atari joystick than that flashback that I've been playing it on. And everybody looks so microscopic and... Oh, look, I made it on. Got your typical Atari graphics and your typical Atari sound effects. Well, this is a weird level. It's all blue. What's going on here? I look like I'm on ice. Hey, and there's a truck. I wonder if the grenades are good for that. And it looks like I'm dead. So yeah, I mean, this was an exciting game. I mean, it's simple, yet it's difficult. And it kind of reminded me of River Raid. And it's funny because the guy that sent this to me, Gregory, the one I was talking about, he said his favorite game is River Raid. So obviously he really likes this game too. And it's quite impressive for an Atari 2600 game. And you know, it's kind of like playing combat by yourself in a sense. You're pressured into this moving screen, which is not on actual combat. I mean, combat came with the Atari. That's, you know, that's what it was. That's a better version of it right there, better picture. But, you know, Combat, like I said, it's a two-player game. It's meant for two people. This is just, you know, this. I don't know if this has a two-player mode. Actually, I didn't look into that part. It might, but you know, it was challenging nonetheless. You know, having that screen kind of moving up, just kind of like a, you know, some Super Mario 3 worlds levels where, you know, the level's moving and you got to keep up with it or else you die. That kind of idea. So it's really challenging. It's really fun. It's got really nice sound effects. So I was actually quite impressed by this one. Commando, again, I mean, this is quite advanced for an Atari 2600 game. And I know I've said this about a few games that I've talked about. Not all games on the Atari are going to be just blocky and boring, right? There's a lot of great Atari 2600 games. And if you see that word there, Activision, you pretty much know you're going to get a pretty good product. You're going to get a very good, well-made video game. And for its day, where they had to, you know, push the boundaries of what they could do on the amount of space they could put on these cartridges without having to add extra RAM or whatever, ROM or all that stuff they have to do to make these things much better, it's pretty impressive. And I had a lot of fun. And like I said, I compared this to the Rambo game. Rambo, well, First Blood, Part 2, Rambo, whatever you want to call it, for the Commodore 64. They play similar, and I remember when I played on the Commodore 64, I remember how similar Commando was to Rambo. You know, Rambo and Commando, they're pretty much the same. Only difference is, of course, with Rambo you have a different mission involved, and you got a few different options and stuff like that. But I mean, the play style is very similar. So I was quite impressed by this, and yeah, sure, it would have been cool if it was an actual G.I. Joe game, but, you know, whatever. I like it either way. So, you know, I'd like to know what you think. Well, let's turn that guy around. I think they're both great games. I think if you're in the mood for playing some nice shoot 'em up, action, battle, war style games, these are awesome. I mean, unless you got a buddy you can play Combat with, you know, then, you know, all power to you. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. Hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.